A student once shared this thought about a BYU education. There is no field of study that cannot help us come closer to God. Teachers need to be more clear, though, in making it comfortable for students to give spiritual insights. There have been many times when I've been in a class or writing a paper and wanted to make a spiritual connection, but I did not know if that was acceptable. So how can we do this? How can we make our courses more inspiring and spiritually strengthening such that they help our students come closer to God? Perhaps it might help to start thinking about some of our own inspiring learning experiences, either as a teacher or a student. What made those moments both intellectually engaging and spiritually strengthening? Take a moment to jot down a few thoughts. The Faculty Center set out to better understand what makes a classroom experience truly inspiring and spiritually strengthening. Specifically, they looked at courses that were rated highly by students on both the intellectually enlarging and spiritually strengthening aims of a BYU education. They asked both faculty and students to describe what made these experiences so powerful, and then had participants rate the importance of the different elements that emerged. Some of the results might surprise you. Many of the actions we might assume are most impactful, like bearing testimony on occasion, allowing gospel-themed detours in the lesson, sharing spiritual thoughts, devotionals, or hymns, or making frequent, if even sometimes awkward gospel connections, were rated on average as only somewhat important. More important were things like helping students navigate ethical challenges that people of faith encounter, bringing in gospel insights where they flow naturally, expressing care and empathy for students, holding students to high intellectual standards, addressing controversial topics from a faithful perspective, sharing personal experiences of reconciling faith and intellect, being open and personal in appropriate ways, and praying in class. And what was rated as most important? Showing students that we believe in their potential, being authentic and genuine, and modeling gospel-centered living. So what do we make of this? First, those things rated as most important are more about who we are as instructors and how we see and work with our students, and less about specific actions, although those still matter. Second, it's worth noting that the study asked about each of these elements in isolation, but in practice, these elements interact. For instance, authenticity may be essential to modeling gospel living effectively. And if bearing testimony is a sincere expression of an instructor's character, it could be far more meaningful than its average rating suggests. And third, the study looks at averages, but no classroom is truly average. For some students or entire groups, practices like classroom prayer or spiritual music may be deeply meaningful. What matters most is not checking off a list, but following the Spirit to meet the needs of the individuals in front of you. As Doctrine and Covenants, section 88, verse 118 reminds us, seek learning, even by study and also by faith. We are not only instructors, we are covenant disciples with sacred responsibilities to teach truth, model discipleship, and invite the Spirit into the work of learning. Consider how you might apply these insights in your own teaching. What new idea or inspiration did I receive about what I might start, stop, or continue? Beyond classroom behaviors, what else could shape a spiritually strengthening experience? Course design? Policies? Personal changes? How might I intentionally partner with the Lord to become a more Christ-like teacher? Teaching at BYU is not just a job. It's also a calling of sorts. Our classrooms can become sacred spaces where hearts are lifted, minds are expanded, and testimonies are quietly nurtured. May we each have the courage, humility, and spiritual sensitivity to follow the Savior's example, to teach with power, with love, and with deep faith in those we are privileged to lead. And the Spirit shall be given unto you by the prayer of faith, and if ye receive not the Spirit, ye shall not teach. Let's teach with the Spirit, so our students can learn by the Spirit.